Most on the internet have categorized this as a conspiracy theory, that these brothers didn't exist or were never part of the Korean industry, though this video will go through evidence of their time as SM trainees, who they were, and what may have happened to them. Julian and Jay Leung were brothers that were born in Canada of Chinese origins. They were 3 years apart from each other. One of the brothers, Julian, has more evidence backing up of his time in SM, where he potentially started training in 2007. For example, in a Henry Lau Soompi forum in 2007, a user named Jessie Jess talked about Julian being her brother's best friend and confirmed that he was training in SM. Another user had remembered there being a connection with Henry and a couple of other SM boys, which surprisingly include Julian. Henry Lau had been scouted by SM in 2006 in the Toronto auditions, so it's likely Julian and he were chosen the same year. In a wiki for Henry Lau, it states only 2 Canadians out of 3,000 had passed the auditions for SM. Unless there was another Canadian trainee, it's likely Julian was the other selected candidate alongside Henry. The only other Canadian artist from SM I can remember from that timeline was Chris Wu, but he was scouted in 2007 and not 2006. Regardless, Julian was very close with Amber Liu of FX and Henry Lau of Super Junior. It's possible the three bonded on being foreigners of non-Korean origins at SM. They allegedly hung out at movies and ate together as a trio. This also confirms the fact that Julian was still a trainee in 2008 as Amber had been scouted by SM that year. After FX's debut, Amber Liu had suddenly gone MIA in June of 2010. She stated she had gone through an ankle injury and flew back to America for treatment. But it lasted for so long that netizens were speculating if the band broke up, were having fights, or Amber was kicked out. The recovery took her more than 6 months to heal from, and she came back in April of 2011 for their comeback Pinocchio. But it's speculated Julian's death may have shaken her up and prolonged her hiatus. In her thank you note in FX's first album Pinocchio, she even mentions Julian. To Julian, I wish you were here to see this. Thanks for everything. Miss you so much. On numerous other occasions, she has brought Julian up. Like in her 2022 single, Lately, she dedicated it to a friend that ended their life when she was 18, acknowledging him as Jay. She was in fact 18 when Julian had passed away. Jay Leung's life as a trainee is only confirmed through a blog a friend had written for him, a letter to a boy who took his own life. In it, they recount things they regret. And one of them was the scandalous things they said about Taemin from Shinee to Jay. Jay was upset with those comments and stated he knew Taemin would not tolerate that behavior and that he was a gentleman. The poster doesn't acknowledge if Jay was a trainee, but only said Jay had friends in SM that knew Taemin well. It's possible Julian was initially scouted as an addition for Super Junior M as the Canadian Chinese member. The creation of this subunit was to target the Chinese market, but seems like Henry won the race between them. For Jay, it is unknown. SM has been allegedly working overtime to hide the fact these two brothers trained under their company. Blogs and posts have been de-indexed from the Google search results, or deleted, and the only evidence are archived websites from Wayback Machines. Some blogs were posted in 2019 and were removed later. After almost 15 years after their death, is SM trying to hide this past? One answer is that SM just didn't want negative press. They can't afford to associate themselves with the deaths of two trainees, especially if they both had left by July 2010. But is it also possible something very dark happened behind the scenes? Or was this a story of two brothers unable to achieve their dreams of idol life and weren't able to cope with it? This is, of course, all speculation. Nothing has been confirmed. There is also no confirmation if the brothers were still trainees at the time of their deaths. Nothing is learnt of their personal lives aside from the fact they had a single mother. Through posts and comments between friends, it's confirmed the brothers ended their lives together on July 6, 2010. They are both now buried at a cemetery in Toronto, Canada, their hometown. I know this is a really heavy video, but I hope it has shed some light that these boys were very real and had their own stories to tell before their lives ended.